Hi, everyone. Mitch from PickDogs.com and SportsChatPlace.com here with the Puck Dogs. We're here to talk sim games. We're going to narrow it down, probably be a shorter show than we've been doing. And we're just going to go over today's sim games as well as is there also the NBA guys? Are they doing today too? So we could do that as well. And some strategy that the guys are using betting those games. We also have some news out of Major League Baseball. It looks like they are coming up with a plan, and they are talking about playing in May. I think they're done waiting. I don't blame them. It's kind of like if you can figure out a way, then you might as well do it. And I think, with the speeding up of testing, with the with all that, the social distancing, I think that putting these games on TV, without people in the stands, I know it takes away from a lot of, what is the game. But, at least it sounds a heck of a lot better than what we have now. So, Rod, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
How about you, Chris? What's happening with you, Chris?
Not much. Just, pounding out some of these sim games and looking up to the NFL draft, getting our mock drafts ready for the weekend.
So, as far as the sim games, we have the NBA players are playing today again. Totally forgot about that. We have 4 matchups there. And then we also have the sim games. So, I don't know. I haven't watched one of these sim games or one of these NBA players playing video games. So, most of mine have been educated guesses. I think some of the guesses are more educated than others. But, just going by what we know. Chris, what's some of the strategy that you use what are some of the strategies you use in these sim games?
I mean, the biggest thing for me is I think that we have to remember that while there is a human element to, taking players and, taking the team and putting them in a game, this is still a simulation. This is still just taking what we think of the players and giving numbers, giving grades according to what we think of each of their attributes and letting it play out. You look at a team like Cleveland. So far, since they've started doing these sims, Cleveland's 2-0. They've scored 48 and 45 points in each of those games. Because they have Odell Beckham rated a 90. They have Nick Chubb rated a 92. Like they're these higher rated players, and what we expected to see from Cleveland maybe going into the season with all this talent. And look what happened. They finished 6-10. So I mean, you still have to remember that it is just a simulation. You got to sort of remove the human element from gameplay, I would say.
How about you, Rod? Any strategy you've been using?
Yeah, you got to look at what the numbers of how these players are rated in these games. That's the biggest thing. You may think this guy. We really love this guy in real life, but in this game, he's only rated a 78 compared to somebody who's rated at a 90. That's how I look at things. And there's no injuries.
Yeah.
They don't take injuries into account. So that all the players are playing. So yeah, that's what I look at. I really look at how they're rated in the game. Right.
So do the players wear down over the course of the game, or are there injuries in the games? Chris?
I've seen a couple injuries in games. Mostly it's the fatigue sliders are down a little bit, so the fatigue tends to wear down not as quickly as maybe it would in a real game, but there is some fatigue that comes into play as well.
And also the fact that the computer doesn't know that, okay, there's 40 seconds left in the game and we're out of timeouts, that we should be in a hurry up offense. They make one play and they just putz around and they just burn the clock.
Yeah. That's another.
They
That's
just
an,
punch.
that's another part of the human element as well. To go with what Rod said, I've seen so many of these covers that are coming down to the last second. You have a team that you need to have drive up field and run a no huddle offense, and you've got the guy celebrating after a first down, chewing up 10 or 12 seconds of the clock when you just need them to get downfield. So that's another, drawback to not having a bit more of a human element in the game.
So it just seems to me that, not taking into account injuries, not even taking into account rosters, right? So you kind of have to go back and hopefully even throw out your NFL magazines from last year. Is that really what this boils down to?
Yeah, I mean the information's out there. I mean you look online, you just have to type in like Madden ratings, and you can get updated ratings week to week because that's what the video games have turned into now. They want to make it as realistic as possible. If the guy's having 2 or 3 down weeks, his rating's going to drop 5 or 6 points. They want to try to make it as adjustable and as realistic as possible on a day-to-day daily flow basis, and that's kind of where we're at for that.
It'd be even better if you owned the game at your house and you could run the sim yourself 100 times, and then you could actually get a good these two teams against each other, and you've simmed it 100 times. Because I know in the video game you can actually just hit the sim button. You don't have to sit there and watch for 2.5 hours. You can just quickly sim the game. You could do the matchup 100 times and get a good percentage of where you lie and make your bet that way. But I don't own these games. But if somebody did own the game, that's what I would do. I would totally put it on my video game system and sim it myself a few times and see what you come up with.
It seems it seems like there's definitely this way to do it, right? That that you can do it the way that Rod is saying. That you could almost sim them out yourself. Has anyone tried that? I mean, have we heard anything where this has worked?
I haven't tried it.
I don't own the Madden 2020, so. But I'm sure that would work because it's the same game, same everything, and you'd probably get a good reading after you simmed it 50 times.
So, what do we got on today's card as far as games go?
So they have 4 games. The first one kicking off at 12, so about 40 minutes. Indianapolis at Jacksonville. Indianapolis minus 4.5, over under 55.5.
Say it again. So we have Indianapolis against Jacksonville in the line as well.
Indianapolis minus 4.5, over under 55.5.
So, what are we looking for in this game?
Quarterback wise, I mean, you have Jacoby Brissett, who's sitting at a 73 overall, and you have Nick Foles at 71, Gardner Minshew 69 for Jacksonville. You've got Leonard Fournette in the mid 80s. Same with it's Marlon Mack. It's around an 80, 85. I think the game, if it plays out according to those numbers, it's hard for me to get a read on either side because Indy's 0-2 and since they've started these sims, but they've been playing a lot of close games. Jacksonville's 2-0 in the same boat. I would lean towards the points, but my comfortable side's the under 55.5.
How about you, Rod?
Yeah, that's what I like too. I like the under 55.5. That's a lot of points for these two teams to score, and something I don't see as a shootout. But I would take the Jags plus 4.5 in what I see as a tight game.
Yeah, it just seems to me that the Jags were supposed to be a lot better. This is a team that was just a couple years removed from the championship. I know the Colts were a playoff team the previous year as well. So this would probably be a pretty close game. So taking the points, to me, seems like the play. What do we have next?
Next one at 3 Eastern, Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Cleveland minus 2.5, over under 56.5.
Just say it one more time.
Sorry, Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Cleveland minus 2.5, over under 56.5.
What are you thinking here?
For me, like I said, Cleveland's one of the teams that this game loves that maybe didn't pan out in reality. Like I said, you've got Nick Chubb 92 overall, Odell Beckham 90, Baker Mayfield's in the high 70s at quarterback, and then Cleveland's got some good players in their defense. Pittsburgh, all their better players are in the low 80s except for Smith-Schuster, and all their best players are coming on the offensive line pretty much. So I would take Cleveland minus 2.5.
How about you, Rod?
Yeah, I would take Cleveland minus 2.5 too, because this game it's taking the numbers that are on paper for these players and run with it. Like we've seen what happened in reality with Cleveland and them players. The computer doesn't see it as that. So yeah, I would take Cleveland minus 2.5.
Yeah, the computer doesn't see Cleveland having issues on the field in the locker room, guys calling each other names and throwing each other under the bus. They just see, oh, Odell Beckham can catch things one-handed. Oh, here's a 99 spectacular catch rating. Here's a Nick Chubb 87 strength. Like,
what else do we have on tap for today?
7 o'clock. New England at Dallas. Dallas minus 3, over under 57.5.
Who do you like here?
For me, I'm on Dallas. The New England defense hasn't transferred from reality into gameplay. They've given up 38 points in their 2 games to Houston. I mean, they won against Kansas City, but the defense still isn't translating. Dallas has the highest point differential up to today out of any team that's been playing these sim games since they've started. They're plus 68. I think Dallas gets the job done here, so I'll lay the 3 points.
How about you, Rod?
I'm going to take New England plus 3. I'm going to go the other way. I think New England shows up today. It's one of those games that they show up for.
And the last one at 10 Eastern, Kansas City at Oakland. Kansas City minus 11.5, over under 57.5.
So not big expectations for the Raiders, who drafted first, right?
Yeah. Well, they've had this game.
Yeah. They've already played, and Oakland snuck in the back door and got a cover, and that was a 7.5 point dog. So I mean, getting them at 11.5. Kansas City's given up 40.7 points per game in their 4 games since these Sims have started, and as good as the Chiefs have been, the Raiders have been able to hang around. So I'll take the 11.5 with Oakland.
Yeah, me too. Give me Oakland plus 11.5.
All right. Well, it sounds pretty exciting.
Here's a couple of baseball for you.
Let's do it.
They're starting to sim some baseball games, not on the site that we got these football from, but different sites, because now these books are starting to pop out. They're all starting to do sim games, not just specific to one book. So there's a couple of baseball games. Arizona Diamondbacks. Woodruff pitching for the Brewers. Ray pitching for the Diamondbacks. And they got Arizona money line minus 115. Brewers money line minus 105. And Diamondbacks on the run line is plus 176. Brewers plus 1.5 is minus 210. Woodruff.
It's frozen. Hello?
Am I frozen?
No, I think you're back.
No, I think
Hello?
we're good now.
We're back
I
now
lost you after the
after the run lines. Yeah, you got Brewers, Woodruff. I think I would take the Brewers. I'm going to take the Brewers on the money line.
Yeah, I'm going Brewers money line as well.
Seems super exciting. As you guys can tell, I'm loving this computer pick shows. What else? Is that everything? How about this NBA, guys?
And the last one we got the Cleveland Indians. Cleveland Indians at Oakland Athletics. We got Bieber versus Manea. I think I'd take Oakland on the run line. Oakland minus 1.5. I'm not a big guy.
How about you, Chris?
What's the money line on it?
The money line for Oakland is minus 160. Money line for Indians is plus 140.
Yeah, Oakland minus 1.5.
Sounds just too exciting to. I just can't contain myself here. Trying to hold it together here. We'll have probably tomorrow something a little bit more exciting than this. I don't think I can. I honestly think that I can't do this one. So we'll figure it out. We'll have sim picks, but it's going to be at the end of the show the way we've been doing them, where it's kind of just these are the picks. I think a whole show with this is just for me. It's not what I do. So outside of my comfort zone, kind of what I talked about yesterday. You got to stay with what you know and what you love, because it's like, as you can see, video games aren't what I know and what I love. So I can't even fake it. It's like I can't even say like, yeah, this is something I would spend, spend the money I find on my desk and 2 seconds of my time, watching. Just no interest whatsoever. So, anyways, always enjoyable to see everyone. Good to have the guys back on, of course. I think we're going to do, as long as there's no sports, we're going to do Mitch Mondays, and where I'm just going to talk, and then, every other day we'll have the guys on. But anyways, have a great day, everyone. We will see you tomorrow. We're going to have a real topic tomorrow. I can't do this. Have a great day.